Hi, and welcome to our Thursday Mindfulness Zen. So we finished the short mini Zen course, the Mind Gym, and tonight I just want to give you some quick tips. So I call this the Zen Quick Tips, and what we're going to talk about tonight is minding your breath. So our breath is very important. I think all of you already know that, because if you don't breathe, after a few minutes, you're no longer here. So that part is pretty obvious. But the other part maybe that is not so obvious is that most of the time, we're not really so connected with our breath. We kind of take it for granted, the breath just goes on. And often, what happens is that we don't realize that we can actually use the breath to benefit us in a way that that is quite radical, I think. We don't really get into the breathing that much. We just, whenever I teach about breathing mindfully, quite a lot of people will tend to think about being mindful of the breath rather than actually connecting with the breath in a very kind of physical and intimate way. And we can do that. Quite often our head gets in the way, like it does with so many things. We overthink everything. Even when it comes to meditation, somebody says, oh, pay attention to your breath, and then some people, maybe not you, will start to kind of try to control their breath in a way that is not really that natural. And then it's very hard to relax. It's very hard to actually breathe naturally, because and it's happened to me when I first started practicing, once you start, I've got to pay attention to breath, then you start to control it. Then it becomes a little tight, and then you think, I can't really breathe properly, why can't I breathe properly? And then that brings on a whole bunch of other sorts of thinking. And then you try to fix that, and you try to force yourself to breathe properly. And what it actually is, the remedy is actually to step back and not try to fix anything, and just let your breath do its work. Your body knows how to breathe. It doesn't need you in it. But one of the things that we can do is we can influence a little bit, to a certain degree, the way that we breathe, how deeply we breathe, and how quick or slow we breathe, and how we breathe. Okay, so if we train ourselves and we master these things, then practicing mindfulness meditation becomes a lot more rewarding. It becomes a lot easier also. It becomes less of a fight between you and your body, because actually you develop this sense of intimacy with your breath. And your breath is one of the most intimate things that you can get close to. There's just you and your breath, and there's nothing in between. There's nobody, nothing, no outside thing coming in between you and your breathing. But we tend to put things in between, like our thinking and how we should do it and everything. So what I'd like to do tonight is, when we practice, do some practice in a few minutes, and all you're doing is just paying attention to the breath. Just paying attention to it. Just allowing yourself to just notice. So we don't have to think about paying attention. We just, rather than think about it, just try to feel it. I mean, in a very bodily sensation way. So sometimes it helps to put one hand over the heart and one hand over your lower belly, and that helps with the physical sensation because you can feel the movement with your hand. So if you have difficulty like just sensing your breath, you can do that. So just feel that and just allow yourself to notice what it feels like when you breathe. You don't have to think about it. Rather than thinking about how you feel. Okay, that's what I used to do, and I would suspect many people do. You think about how you feel rather than feeling it. So it's like you're putting a middleman there. This thinking is your middleman. Take away the middleman and just directly connect with the sensation of breathing in, and that becomes very intimate. Then you know that that's just my breath and that's you. And when you're aware of your breath in this kind of intimate space, you're completely present. You're right here, right now. There's nothing that is coming in between you. And actually, that's who you are. That's, because your breath is you and you are your breath. So that can be quite challenging, I have to say, because we have this habit of letting, or not letting, but actually sometimes actively engaging, putting our thinking in the way. So I'm not telling you to take away your thinking. That in itself is another very difficult to do, but rather switch your awareness to just feeling the breath. So putting one hand on the heart, one hand on the lower belly, and just feel it. Just feel the movement. That's all you have to do. So what you're doing is like you're redirecting your awareness. So that's the tip for tonight, the quick tip. Redirect your attention rather than try to think about redirecting it. Just do it. Okay? So then when that happens, you become more aware of how you breathe. Then if you like, try to breathe more very gently, like a feather's breath. You don't have to put a lot of exertion into it. It can be just very light, but also quite deep. So it's very gentle, almost like if you put your hand in front of your nose, you can almost not feel your breath because you're breathing so lightly, so gently. So you can try that. Maybe I've over-explained. I hope not, but just try Just feel your breath and breathe gently, and just pay attention to that. Try not to make it an effort. It's like just paying attention, and then you just like, okay, I'm not going to breathe hard. I'll just breathe gently, you know, with a feather touch. Okay, so I've said a lot already. Let's try it. Okay, and if you have any challenges, any questions, any difficulties, then please message me on the Facebook or WhatsApp, and then I'll try and answer your questions. So let's try it. Let's begin. So, comfortable, alert posture. Close your eyes. Allow your shoulders to relax, your neck, your jaw to relax. Then, if you like, put one hand on your over your heart, in the middle of your chest, and the other hand at your lower belly. Then feel your breathing. There's no need to change or try to alter the rhythm of your breathing. See if you can breathe more gently. Like when you breathe out, it's like letting out a very long, slow sigh. Then, of course, your mind will wander off, get distracted by thoughts or images. Realize that that is totally normal and it's not a mistake or a problem. When you notice that happening, just come back to feeling your breath again. And see if you can develop some sense of intimacy with your breathing. And now, for those of you who want to try it, see if you can breathe more gently. Letting go of any effort in breathing. There is no wrong way to breathe. gentle and easy. body to breathe itself. Okay, take your time, slowly open your eyes and bring your attention back to the room again. Great. Thank you for your practice. I hope you found it helpful, useful to be able to pay attention, to be mindful of your breath in this way. So it's very important to remember that you don't have to force anything. It's a very light touch. I think we have to realize that mentally as well as physically, to actually notice things, because the breath itself is actually very subtle, and if you're putting too much effort into it, you don't notice the subtle changes in your breath. So if you found it a little challenging this time, don't worry. You get better with practice. That's why meditation is called a practice. You know, you never stop practicing, basically. And so you can try this whenever you want to, you know, whether when you're sitting with a cup of tea in your hand, just relaxing after day's work, or even if you're on the bus or on the train, you know, going to work or coming back from work. You can try this at any time, just for even just a few minutes, like 3 minutes or 2 minutes, just to feel your breath. Then that actually helps to relax you. Okay, so that's our quick Zen tip for today. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for practicing together, and see you next time. Bye-bye.